Myself, Harsh Khattar, Assistant Professor at ABS Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today, I am delivering a lecture on carry look ahead adder, and we will also see some of the operations on ALU. Till now, we have seen some of the circuits about the logical operations, arithmetic operations and shift operations, and this is a part which is carrying all the things inside this diagram where we are using the full adders, and this combination of 4 full adders is basically performing a addition of 4 2 bits numbers. In this case, we are seeing here this full adders are basically taking the bits from both the inputs A and B. If a number A is derived using the 3 bits A3, A2, A1 and A0 LSB to MSB. Similarly, the B is represented using these 4 bits. So, each full adder is using this bit and giving the 2 outputs as carry and sum. In this case, there is a issue in this type of calculation. What is the issue in this type of calculation is, when we are talking about this part, this C in, carry in, and these 2 are the inputs from the 2 numbers. In this case, this carry out is computed and then this carry out is treated as the carry in for the next adder. Means here the output of this is working as an input for second adder. The output of the second adder is treated as the input for the third adder, and the output of the third adder is treated as the input of the fourth one. Means if I am talking about the fourth adder, so this fourth adder can't compute its operation without the output of this C3. So, in this case, what is happening, the operations are dependent. So, this is one thing. Here we are directly say that each full adder is dependent on the previous one or connected to the carry of the previous one as an input. So, this type of adder is known as a ripple carry type adder, where the rippling of the carry is done here. So, if we are talking about this type of problem, that how we are taking this propagation delay. What is this propagation delay? Here this type of thing where the dependency is there and this full adder is waiting for this full adder to compute the carry 3 to take as an input in itself. So, in this case, this type of thing is known as the propagation delay. So, it basically depends on the time of a particular gate, that how much time a particular gate is taking, and this basically relate to the performance of a particular circuit. If I am using 4 full adders, in this case each full adder is also carrying some gates, and at the end we are doing a computation, say one full adder is taking a time of 10 nanoseconds. Then after 10 nanoseconds it will give the carry to the second full adder. Then after 10 nanoseconds it will give carry to the third one. It means first full adder 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, means after 30 seconds or 30 time units we are receiving the input carry to the final one. So, this is the propagation delay, and you are able to see here in that example that we are seeing this data is instantaneously present with this full adder, but after availability of this it is still waiting for 30 nanoseconds to receive this part. So, this is the issue. So, what is the solution for this? So, first solution is to use the faster gates. Means if I am using some faster circuit, so instead of the 10 units of time, 10 nanoseconds or 10 microseconds, we can limit it to the 5 nanoseconds. Or there is another solution which is the most common one which we are using here, is the use of the approach which is a look carry ahead. So, this look carry ahead is basically an approach, and the circuit is known as carry look ahead adder. So, we will discuss first about this circuit. This circuit is basically works as a fast parallel adder which can takes multiple inputs and give the result instantaneously. So this basically works on two types of function. One is the propagation and second is the generation. So this propagation and generation basically comes to the carry part, and this is resultant to the propagating function carry and the generating function carry. Means the one function works as to create a particular carry, means to generate a particular carry. If my number is 1 1, so if my number is 1 1 and we are going to add this number with 1 0. So in this case 1 0 we are using 1 without carry, and here the carry is generated. So the carry is generated at this point. So the function which is used at this point is my generating function. And if there is one more thing here which I am using, like take another example 0 1 1 1 1 0 1. Now I am going to add this. See what is happening here, 1 1 0 and carry. So this is generation of carry, and if I am using here 1 1 1, so answer is 1 and 1 is again use of a particular carry. In this case this is generating a carry and also propagating a carry in the next one. So this is the example of propagation. Propagation means if I have a carry previously and still I am carry forwarding the same value 1. So in this case this is a propagating function. The best example of this type of function is when we have a carry here and this is my value. So in this case it is generating a carry, and the value A, the value B is not generating any carry, but the previous carry is making it propagate to the next level. So these are the two important functions to understand the concept of carry look ahead adder. So we are going to see this part in detail. To understand the concept, I have shown this part as generating carry we have and the propagating carry. When we are talking about the generation of a carry, if I am talking about two 1 1 bit numbers, in this case if a value is 0 0 means A is 0, B is 0. So what is the output? No carry is generated. 0 1 no carry is generated, 1 0 no carry is generated, means the generation of a carry is only when we have both the ones. So in this case if both the ones are there, my output is a carry. So in this case this generating function says if A is 1, B is 1 only, then we are getting a carry 1. So which gate we are using here? I have also discussed in detail in the logic operations of ALU that this is a alias of AND operation. So here we are using A dot B as a generating function. So the representation of this function is G represents the generating one and A comma B are my inputs. So it is A dot B. And when we are talking about the propagation of the carry, what it means? Propagation means I already have a carry. Take an example, if I have a number 0 and I am using 1, so this is not generating any carry because 0 1 is resulting to the 1 which sum up in the sum part, not a carry. Carry is 0. So when the carry is going to propagate, either A or B, means either the first number or second number is 1. If none of the number is 1, then carry can't propagate, it just convert it to the sum part. So here either A or either B can be 1, in this case with this carry in. Now it is a combination which propagates the carry. So if I am going to derive this with the help of circuit, then this is a truth table where in circuit we are providing the inputs. So here you are able to see clearly, if we are talking about this first value where all the inputs A, B and carry in are 0, then our carry out is 0. Here I am not focusing on the summation part, as we know in addition we have two outputs, sum and carry. Currently I am only focusing on the carry because the delay is due to carry. The delay is not from the sum part. So I have separated sum and carry, and on this part we are only focusing on the carry. So this carry is 0. In this case, when either 1 or this, either A or either B should be 1, in this case both are 0. So no carry is propagated and generated. So in this case none of the operation is performed from this propagation and generation. So our focus is on propagation, means the propagating a carry, and generation of a new carry. Similarly, there the carry, this condition is false. So we are saying no generation of carry is there. But when we are saying either A or B is 1, yes, here it is, and input carry is also 1, in this case the carry propagates. Not a new carry is going to generate, just a older one is going to propagate in the next cycle. Similarly, when we are talking about A is 1, carry is 0. So in this case none of the operation is performed among this propagation and generation. This case say propagates. And what about the next one? If A and B both are 1 and carry doesn't matter, A and B both are 1 means the main part are generating the carry. So this A and B, this AND gate is performed, and we are saying a generating function is in use. So in this case generate. And what will happen if all the inputs are 1? In this case this result to the generation, and as the condition says A or B should be 1 and carry input is 1, in this case the propagation is done. So here generate as well as propagate. So when we are talking about generate and propagate, both are happening here. So in this case we are using the XOR. If we are not talking about this case generate and propagate, then in some books it is mentioned that we can also use the, here in this case we can use generally the OR, as either one is resultant to the propagation. Okay. So in this case we can also use this circuit, but the preferable one is the XOR, because in this case when we have 1 1 1 it is also saying the propagation, and we are talking about, no, we are not taking the 1 1 1 combination, means A B, if both are 1 we are talking this is a generation part. So we are not counting it in the propagation one. So if we are taking OR gate, then the output of this 1 1 is 1. So better thing is to take the XOR gate in this place. So sometimes a student get confused that what we are using here. So for smooth conduction and smooth understanding, we are using here the AND gate and here XOR gate. So this is about the functionality. And when we are talking about the circuit which is based on this particular part, which I have discussed in the form of truth table, we can say this type of generation and propagation is happening here. So the equations are same, and we are using here this XOR gate of these bits as the propagation, and this is for the generation. And similarly we are deriving the complete circuit as we are using the 4 bits. So the 4 circuits are derived here, first, second, third and the fourth, and at the end we are getting this summation. So there is no issue of the summation, as in the addition we have sum and carry, and sum consists of the XOR gate. So XOR gate you are able to see here in the form of sum, and when we are talking about this part, this is the important one, the final carry. So this is the important one. And how we are deriving the equations for all these. So this is the important one when we are talking about the next part. So this is how we are deriving the particular expression. Here the carry, which is the output of first one, is going as the input of the second one. How we are deriving this part? So this part is derived using this. So this is my input carry, and this is my generating and propagating function. And on behalf of this we are able to determine the upcoming carry. So in this case we are saving our time. So we are saving the part and reducing the propagation delay. So this is the main concept of carry look ahead adder. You can also explain this generating and propagating function with the help of, this is basically the AND, So if we are talking about I, so we can take this and this is Bi. And what is the Pi? Pi is basically Ai XOR Bi. So in this case, this is the Ci is the input carry, A and B are the inputs, this is input. So in this manner, if I am going to the last version, which is my C4, so if I am going to replace these values, I am getting the final result. So this is the good thing about carry look ahead adder. See, when we are elaborating, we are putting these original expressions into the main one. So this is the resultant. Now I am going to substitute the values and this part is the resultant one. As I am talking about this part, you can also explain this as the AND gate and this is as the XOR, and this part is replaced here. Then next one is C2, so you can replace this part in C2, then C3. So at the end you are getting this expression. And the beauty of the algorithm is all these propagating and the generating functions, all these operations are independent to each other. So here when we are going to compute the generation functions, this propagating functions, so these are independent. Now for finding the final carry, it is not required to wait for all three adders to compute first. So the time of 10 nanoseconds, 10 nanoseconds, 10 nanoseconds, no, it is not required. The minimum time is required for this independent operations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 5 operations are going to perform, and if they are using the single clock cycle, means at 5 seconds you are getting the result which is previously in the 30 seconds. So this is about the carry look ahead adder. Now how we are using these type of circuits in computer, this is the important part. Means I have taught about the arithmetic circuit, logical circuit and the shift circuit in previous lectures, and the combination is basically ALU, and today we are discussing about the parallel adder and this fast adder. But what exactly computer is doing? So the computer is basically using the hardware of this type. So let's focus on this hardware part and how these operations are performed using this hardware structure. So some of the terminologies are new and some of the terminologies you have already studied in the first unit, like these registers A and B, like complementary circuit where we are basically using the XOR gate. So at the end in the circuit we are using those operations only, nothing new is there, but collectively they are able to solve the new problems. So we will see some examples here. So have a look to this hardware circuit where we are taking inputs in A and B. So as mentioned here, this is a B register for one number, this is A register, and these are the two circuits. In this circuit we are basically using the signed magnitude numbers. Say my number is 6 plus 6. So the binary representation of plus 6, if I am talking about the signed magnitude representation, so signed bit is 0 and the magnitude part is this. Another number, take the number is say plus 4, 0 represents the plus, and the next one is its binary representation. So the first thing is to identify which is A and which is B. In this case I am representing here, say this is my A, this is AS. AS represents the sign bit of A and BS represents the sign bit of B. This is my number. If this register is of 8 bits, then the MSB 4 bits are 0 because we need to complete a particular number. If this B is a negative number, in this case BS is converted to 1. So this is a single bit register which is also known as a flip-flop because a register is carrying all the flip-flops. And apart from this we have two circuits in it. One is the complementary circuit which is used for the subtraction part, means when we are talking about the XOR gate, we complement part, so the XOR gate is the major one, and the next is the parallel adder which is using a circuit of full adder. So these are the two circuits. Two extra flip-flops are required here This is for the carry and overflow purpose. If I am adding two numbers, take the same example. In this case, when I am going to add this, so the answer is 10 and 0 1 0 1. So here this is the new part, or we are taking one extra bit, so this is stored here in the carry, and side by side this is also represented in the terms of arithmetic overflow. Sometimes it's a 2-mark question that what is this AVF. AVF is arithmetic overflow. Okay, we will see the usage of arithmetic overflow in next. See this, we are talking about the operations of arithmetic like addition and subtraction, because the multiplication and division are derived from the same one. In this case, if I am only focusing on the addition part, this what we are seeing here, this is the addition, and this is also treated as the addition, where we are taking a common minus sign like this. So basically what we are doing, we are performing addition and we are taking these signs separately. And when we are talking in addition, these two are subtraction, because we are talking about A minus B. In this case, we are talking about B minus A, means in this case A minus A plus B is a subtraction operation. Similarly, when we are talking about the subtraction, it itself contains the addition part. So this is important, means it is not always there like we are talking about the addition and we are actually performing the addition part. No, it is not true. So this is the example, and as we are seeing this part, so it is noted that the first thing is we are focusing on the signs. If both these signs are positive, then yes, addition is performed in case of addition, and if both the signs are negative, in this case also we are performing the addition. But if either of a sign is changed, so here we are checking the condition using the XOR gate. So in my previous lectures I focused always on the XOR gate. This is the important one, so we will see how this is going to implement. So in this case, the first part is to check the signs and then perform the operation. Either it's a positive one and the negative one, either it's a addition or a subtraction. So if I am talking about a flow chart which we are following here, is basically to refer first check this sign bit. Second is, if it is addition, then perform this. What is the meaning of this A and E? A represents the input. So what I am doing here, I am performing a same function like R1 this. So it is mentioned here that this is input 1, this is input 1, but at this point it is treated as a output. So instead of taking a new space R3 or a new register, I am using the existing register. Similarly, we are using this A as a output, okay, and E is represented as a carry, and if there is anything, then we are performing this operation and the resultant is this sign of the output and this output value. And if there is arithmetic overflow, then we will add E here, means it is ASEA, but E is not mentioned always because it is coming to the existence if there is arithmetic overflow. So how we are seeing this? You can see this flow chart here. Don't focus on the entire screen, focus only on this part where we are talking about the add operation. First focus on this, then we will move to the subtraction part. In this case, I am taking the two inputs, and this two inputs are in signed magnitude representation, means A, AS, B, BS. AS and BS are the signs. So as I discussed, first we need to check the sign bit. If both the sign bits are same, then we are going to perform the addition. If the sign is different, then subtraction. So what we are doing here, we are using this XOR operation. If both the signs are same, XOR will return 0. So in this case, we are performing the addition part. In case of addition, what we are doing, A and B, two numbers are there and we are adding it as EA, means the result is going back to the A, and if carry is generated, we are saying it is arithmetic overflow. Arithmetic overflow is not an error, it's just a warning that don't forget in the output that E is generated. So here the output is basically the E, A, and here we have as a sign. Similarly, when we are talking about the subtraction, directly come to this part. So this is the subtraction part. So we can't bifurcate these operations as subtraction and addition. So this is the subtraction part. What is there in the subtraction? We are checking the signs. If it is the negation part, then it comes to here. What is it there in the subtraction? Subtraction says we are doing the addition with the complement number. So this b complement is done. 1's complement plus 1 is 2's complement. So we are using here the 2's complement and perform the same operation. So this is the flow chart. Take an example for this. If I am taking a example which I have discussed earlier, that this is the value. These are my signs. These are 0, 0. This is AS and this is BS. This is my E. Right now it is empty, and when I am going to perform this operation, first thing is to check the sign bits. So here the value is 0, 0. It means what we are doing? We are doing this part and this is addition operation. So add the numbers and the answer is, perform this operation 0, 1, 0, 1. So this is a 4-bit register and the answer is in 4 bits, means no carry is generated, means A, V, F is also 0. So the answer is in AS, A, and the answer is 0 is for AS. This is the answer. What will happen if I am taking a negative number? Take also an example of negative number. Take plus 6 minus 4. What will happen here? This A, this is a representation of 6. Now what about this 4? This is minus and this is 4. Okay, as per the step number 1, what is happening here? We are checking this condition, and if it is 1, it moves to the subtraction part. In subtraction, what we are doing? See the flow chart, means both signs are not same. Yes, it is, one is 0, another one is 1. So what is happening here? We are performing A plus B complement plus 1, means the complementer circuit is used here. So what we are doing? We are taking a complement of this. Complement means the bits will invert, and we are also adding 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. So this is the value which is computed, and now add with A. So this value and this value is going to be added. So 0, 0 is 0, 1, 0, 0 and 1. Now this one is out of the bound for this A, because the size of A is 4 bits. So here the carry is generated, and when carry is generated, we are moving here, this part. Yes, A is greater than B, AS is 0, yes, and we are getting the answer as this. So the answer is 2. 0 represents plus. So this is the example of addition and subtraction. I hope you are able to understand this concept. This is an exercise for you. You can practice with the same flow chart. I refer all these slides from Morris Mano, 3rd edition. You can see these flow charts and try yourself these things. And if you have any doubt, then practice many questions as possible. This is from my side in this addition and subtraction flow chart. Thank you.